Wow, that was wicked.
Little baby shrub.
All part of the fun. Look at this.
Beautiful.
So we're gonna just work on a little drill that has been really helpful for some of my clients for being able to start to snap turns. So for anybody not familiar with snapping turns, you've had the sensation before. It's that sensation of the bike actually accelerating through the turn. So how this works is we're really making this directional change quite quickly, and we're getting some impact off the berm itself. But we're also getting some lateral acceleration from our actual footwork. So these berms aren't that steep, so we are going to be using some footwork. We're not going to be able to press in evenly with both legs. We are going to get a bit of outside foot pressure, and that outside foot pressure is going to result in a bit of footwork. And if we time that correctly, we can get a bit of snap.
That's where you get that like, whoop,
Yeah, you hear
noise.
that
Yeah.
with the back tire, and you feel the bike accelerate. Like when we really snap a turn well, generally speaking, we're going to snap them better toward our back foot turn. So you and I, we get to work on our left turn today. For riders out there who are right foot forward, you would practice this in a right hand turn to get started. Let's go take a look at the terrain and do a little riding. All right, so as we're approaching this turn, if we were just going into here normally, you would be on the correct line. I mean, I wouldn't set up way inside here. That's just going to make this turn tighter. So it's not really something that I'm doing for a very practical purpose other than to feel this sensation. But if you're out there, the radius of the turn is going to be fairly long, right? Like it's going to be a fairly long turn. You might still feel lateral acceleration, but you're probably not going to be able to break the back tire loose and really feel that kind of like snap and get that cool sound that we're looking for today.
We want cool.
I'm going to approach on the inside here. And because I've approached inside, you can imagine you would already be turning there, right? So I haven't even started my turn here. And then I'm going to be forced to make a really quick turn. Now that quicker turn made there is going to make it easier to rotate through the back foot and much more powerful delivery of my footwork. And that's going to be what's going to result in that cool sound, that cool sensation.
Okay.
And some acceleration.
We're basically picking our own apex.
You are.
And then just making really rapid footwork. Absolutely.
I learned this from kids. So when I follow the kind of like the young ripper riders down trails, they do this all the time. They're constantly playing around. Like they'll totally line up inside on a turn and then just like whap, just like super shralp the turn. It's not very fast, but it looks rad and it sounds super cool. So that's what we're after.
Okay, I'm in.
Let's do it. So I know you like notes.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you some notes here. So I'm going to draw out your line coming into here. This is not your race line.
Okay.
This is your snappy, goofy line here for fun.
Cool kids line.
This cool kids line. So make a little cheat sheet here. I'm going to come in really far to the inside. And then I want you to focus on really making like a tight turn, maybe even deeper into here. Okay, but you're really going to bring this line straight down, straight and super late, and then really making a tight turn there. That's where the magic's going to happen. Now you want to give it a try? You want me to demonstrate? What's best for you?
Ooh, demo would be great.
Demo, okay. See if we can get it going here.
Ooh, must be nice.
Yeah, you can actually see the tire marks are more or less where our cheat sheet line was, right? So you can see how the back tire started to drift. And the only reason it did that was because I made a really powerful turn really late. But really just trying to collect that energy in a moment is the idea.
This actually looks really hard, so we'll
It is, you know, one of the things that's actually hard about this today is the traction is so good today. Which you'd think, oh, that's great. But it doesn't really let the bike break loose as much.
Okay, I have a question. How much of this is strength and how much of this is technique or finesse?
That's a great question. You know, there's a little bit of both, but I feel like it's mostly technique. Because really what I'm doing is making an exaggeratedly tight turn. Where the strength comes in is twofold. One is, in this particular setting, pedaling into here, because that takes actually quite a bit of strength. It's a bit of a sprint to kind of come into here that fast. So I am definitely feeling that, but I'm not using my strength to try to kick out the back wheel. Like I'm not trying to like create a slide. I'm just trying to create a very sudden turn by kind of focusing that turn in a very small zone like this. I'm able to get this outcome.
All right, I'll head up, give it a
All
try.
right. So you can see the tire mark here. So I've come in and basically my whole turn is focused in maybe like a 6-foot space here. So come into this zone here and made some back foot pressure and really turned my body very deliberately. And we get that bit of like scrubbing sound with the back tire, but we're actually generating some lateral acceleration with that energy interchange off the bank of the turn. Pedal, 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 pedal. Straight in here. Yeah, that was wicked.
Wait, that actually sounded like something.
That was wicked good. Like, I think you surprised yourself and you almost grabbed some brake at the end.
Yeah, I didn't expect anything to happen.
That was sweet. Like, you did cover my mark. So, like, you can see on the inside there is your mark, like how much tighter you made that. So remember when you and I were warming up before Kyle got up here, you were kind of trying to set up too far out here. That time you did a great job because you actually set up inside of my mark. I think that's your mark there.
Yeah.
So, which actually gave you a tighter turn.
Whoa, I got my first shrub mark.
Sweet. Shralpies.
So I will say having this line in the dirt was really helpful because it meant that I didn't have to think about that.
Yeah.
And it just took one element out.
Yeah, and which is a great thing, you know, like if you're trying this at home, you can go and like mark down the insides of the trail a little bit and just like really try to tighten up the turns and make them as close to 90 degrees as you can.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that was super helpful.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's goofy and silly, but so much fun.
I never thought I could do that actually.
That was sweet. Let's do another one.
Okay.
Okay.
What if that's the best it's ever gonna be?
Well, then we can just hang your bike up on the wall and like with the rest of your trophies.
Time to retire.
Yeah. Call it a day. Shralpies, 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 shralpies. Wicked.
I don't know if that was a shralp or what.
So it is like you set it up. I think you're kind of, because you don't know what's going to happen yet. You're like,
Yeah.
oh my bike's sliding. I'm not used to this happening so immediately. As soon as it starts to happen and you're getting ready to accelerate, you're actually grabbing a bit of brake.
That's what I thought.
But that was not a brake slide. That was a that was a shralp slide. Like you actually kicked it off with a shralp, and then you're like, whoa, the bike's moving. I'm going to hit the brakes.
It was a shralp and panic.
A shralp and panic. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's my new thing
So now the goal would just be to be able to do that without having it be a weird thing or a bad thing, which is just going to take time because your bike is moving around. You are going really fast. You are taking what is already a pretty tight turn and making it tighter, right? I mean, this is a pretty decisive moment right here. The nice thing when we're practicing this is to have a berm turn. Obviously, this would be pretty hard without on a flatland turn. I mean, you could do it, but it's a lot safer on a berm turn because you're going to slide into the berm, right? You know, and if you practice this on trail, like if you go up higher on this trail, you'll see there's some places with like little marbly rocks everywhere. Then you can shralp those rocks up over the berm, and then you're actually technically doing trail work while you're riding.
Community service hours.
Yeah, all kinds
whole
of stuff.
thing.
Yeah, we'll definitely build that out.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Another lap.
All right.
All right. No brakes if you can.
Okay. No panic braking. I think I got,
You're like, whoa, that was fast.
I think I got scared.
You did. I mean, because you're like, well, I'm not going to hit the brakes, and you didn't. But then you just were like, boom, into that next turn. You are going really fast.
All I could do is get 1 out of 2.
That's awesome, though. I mean, I feel like you've got the feeling for what this feels like, right?
Yeah.
And now you can, like, if you bring this into a place where the traction coefficient is lower, meaning like it's not as grippy, like if you have some marbles and stuff, you won't have to go as fast to do this.
Why don't you put some duff on here?
I could do that.
Huddle up.
We can make some stuff to like blow up in the berm.
Leaves everywhere. Okay. Sounds good.
All right, another lap. This is a really important part of the job here. For people who haven't filmed cornering before, you might not know that this is a trick of the stars here, is to put some stuff to load. Like when you're out doing like a film shoot and you got some people like really smashing turns, it takes just as long to load the berm every time as it does to ride up and ride through it. It's pretty funny. There we go. That's safe. Yeah, wicked.
Did I just blow up a pile of leaves?
You check out how deep your slide marks are. I mean, look at these Navi marks. This is so sweet. Look at that.
Well, I get better technique when you can just improve the effects.
Yeah, this is how videos are shot. This is the behind the scenes of how videos are shot. You know, loading the berms and stuff. Look at that though. Look how deep your tire marks are there, and that's not from braking. So let's remember, like when watching this, you know, it's easy to think, oh, damaging the trails, whatever. We're actually just moving in through the berm in the way that it's meant to be used, so we're actually not doing a lot of damage. We don't want to like just skid with the back brake on in a straight line, but getting a bit of a drift or getting a bit of a shralp, it's all part of the fun, and not that bad for the trails. All right, well, you can really see like just how much your tires dug in here. I mean, that's pretty impressive. You can see how you started to drift right there. So your turn was about the length of a bike, you know, going maybe 20 miles an hour. So that's a pretty dramatically quick turn. You can see all the power you put into it. And in this moment, you asked about strength. Like you were definitely feeling your right leg here for a moment because you had to deal with the G-forces, right? Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's not like you're trying to use your strength to kick the bike out. You're just making a very rapid directional change. Mm-hmm. That was super sweet.
Yeah, this is cool.
All right, so now we just need to get proof of this on your phone, because if a shralp happens in the woods and nobody's there to see it, did it happen? The answer is no. Of course it didn't. So now we need to get proof on your phone.
The iPhone shralp?
The iPhone shralp. Then we'll call it a wrap.
Okay.
All right, so this is really arguably the most important part of learning. Not the actual like getting of the technique, but the showing of your friends that you have the technique. Really critical, otherwise they're just never gonna believe you. All right, so now you got a really useful new tool for having even more fun on your local trails, right? Cut to the inside, tighten up that turn, make a little bit of extra footwork, focus on your back foot turns first, then see if you can start to do this in some of your front foot turns as well.
Yeah.
And then, you know, from there, the idea is you can bring this sensation into actually riding the correct line on trails and get like this really deliberate kind of snap out of turns. Because remember, this isn't just about getting the back wheel to break loose and slide. It's actually about getting some return on investment and getting some acceleration out of the turn.
And I will say, I have tried this before several times and nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. But when I was thinking back on that changing the apex episode we did, I was thinking about that a lot, because that's where you put the cone down, and I had to choose a really distinct moment to apex.
Yeah.
So if this is a struggle, I would say go back to that one and practice the changing apex drill.
Yeah.
Then come back here.
This definitely requires some really like solid initial base technique to be able to do it, but it's just a super fun thing to do. The other thing I would say about this is that, you know, given that we're doing this on berms, but the berms aren't super steep, that bit of footwork interchange is really helpful. You had a couple today where your feet were a little bit level and you tracked just fine, because, you know, these berms are steep enough to push against with both feet, but you're not getting that interchange between feet that's really getting that back end to kick out and really creating that shralping sound, because I know the sound is super important to you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mic it up.
Mic it up.
Mic it up.
Well, let's just do a few more laps and we'll catch up again in a couple weeks.
All right, sounds good.
Cool.
Little baby shrub. Ooh.